students, in this class we have to discuss solved problem in projection of points. Here in this board, 4 number of questions related to projection of points, especially in the case of first and third quadrant. In our question, draw the projection of points in a common xy line, keeping 30 mm apart from each question. First question is a point B. What is our point? Point B is 15 millimeter in front of VP and 15 mm above HP. From that we can understand the point B is situated in first quadrant. Next, second question, a point C. C is our point, that is 20 mm in front of VP and 50 mm above HP. That question also situated in first quadrant. Now, what is the third one? A point D is 40 mm below HP and 20 mm behind VP. From this hint, below and behind, we can say that the point D is which is situated in third quadrant. Next, fourth one, that is a point E is 20 mm below HP and 60 mm behind VP. That question also situated in third quadrant. These are our questions. Why we are trying to attempt its answer? First we have to draw xy line, and all questions are carried out with the same xy line. That is our speciality. Draw all the answer in a common xy line. First you have to draw the first projection of front view and plan. Thereafter, keeping a 30 mm distance and try to the second one. Now, what are the procedure? What are the common procedure for answering? First we have to draw xy line. Common step is first we have to draw xy line. First step, draw xy line. Second step is project its front view on its corresponding plane. Third one, project its plan on its corresponding plane. Now, fourth one, rotate the HP in clockwise direction. That means fourth one is an assumption, that is horizontal plane having a tendency to rotate in clockwise direction. And the fifth one is mark all the times and parameters. These are our steps while we are answering a projection of points. Here, first we have to draw xy line, then project its front view on its corresponding plane. Then third step is project its plan on its corresponding plane. Fourth one, assume the HP rotate in clockwise direction. And fifth one is mark all the terms and parameters associated with that question. This is our common procedure. Okay. Now we have to discuss how to draw this answer. Our question is, first question is, a point B is 15 mm in front of VP and 15 mm above HP. That means our object A is a point which is situated in first quadrant. This is the pictorial view of first quadrant. This plane is marked with the letter VP. That is, this vertical surface is called VP and this horizontal surface is called HP. Observer always stand at here. The position of the observer stand at the right hand side of the quadrant. When he viewed this object, he can see that the object A, point A, is 15 mm in front of vertical plane. And similarly, we can say that that point A is 15 mm, also 15 mm above horizontal plane. So we can first identify the point which is placed in first quadrant. This representation is called imagination part. While we are answering, two parts are there. First is imagination part, second one is answering part. In imagination part, first we have to draw a quadrant pictorial view with respect to your question. In this question, we have to understand that question is situated in first quadrant. So we can draw the figure of first quadrant isometrically or pictorially and place that statement in pictorial view. That means our point A is situated in first quadrant, keeping equal distance from vertical plane and horizontal plane. While we are answering, when an observer, first we have to understand or draw its projection of point A on its corresponding plane. That is, then that time, keeping the 15 mm height, the observer project this point A towards the vertical plane. That point is, when that point touch on the vertical plane, that point become A dash, small letter A dash. Similarly, next step is draw its plan. While we are drawing its plan, when an observer coming upside of the point and draw its projection of plan on its corresponding plane, horizontal plane, then that time keeping 15 mm distance from vertical plane and project the point A towards horizontal plane. When that point touch at here, that on horizontal plane, that point should be marked with a small letter A. Then this is our front view, this is our plan. After projecting the plan on HP having a tendency to rotate in clockwise direction, then that time plan should definitely comes below the front view. Next, this is answering part. First we have to draw XY line. That is, first we have to draw this reference line. That is the reference line. Now we have to draw its front view. For that, keeping this 15 mm from horizontal surface. That means this area should be marked as VP, and when we are rotate the HP in clockwise direction, HP comes below the XY line, then this surface is marked as HP. Now first step is to draw its front view. For that, what is the dimension? 15 is the dimension. That means by using your scale, take 15 mm in your scale, put a point here. That point is marked as A dash. Now in same line, we have to next step draw its plan. What is its dimension? That is 15 mm in front of vertical plane. Keeping that dimension, that point is projected on HP and HP rotate in clockwise direction. Then that time that point should come below the XY line. Now put a point corresponding to this A dash, keeping same distance from XY line. That point is marked with as A. Now we have completed our front view and this is our plan. Now mark its dimension. For marking its dimension, draw an extension line from the point and fix a dimension line. Put your arrowhead at both ends of the dimension line and place your dimension value, that is 15 mm. Similarly, draw another extension line here. Again draw dimension line, and what is its value? That is also 15 mm. Now we have completed the first question. Okay. Next we have to move on the second question. Now move on to next question. In our next question, a point B, not B, point C. Now in second question, a point C is 20 mm in front of VP and 50 mm above HP. That means, what is the position of our point? The position of our point, at point C is fixed in first quadrant. From this hint, we can understand the point C is fixed in first quadrant. That means 20 mm in front of VP. According to observer position, we can say that this is our observer sign. By the help of this observer position, we can say that our point is a C, our object is a C, which is fixed 20 mm in front of vertical plane and 50 mm above horizontal plane. This is the imagination part. Now this is answering part. Our main question: draw the projection of points in a common XY line. First we have to draw a XY line and attempt to the first question here. From we can mark a 30 mm distance. That means every question having 30 mm distance apart. Next question, starting from here. Now what is the answering part? Answering part, while we are answering, first we have to draw its front view on its corresponding plane. Our point is C, so it becomes C dash, keeping 50 mm distance from XY line. Now put a point here above the XY line, keeping 50 mm. Keeping 50 mm distance. Now this is our 50 mm height. Put a point here and mark that point as C dash. This is our front view. Now in the same line we have to draw its plan. That means keeping 20 mm distance, draw its point C image projected on HP. Then that image should be marked with a small letter C. That is, this is our plan. After projecting the plan on HP having a tendency to rotate in clockwise direction, then that time the point and plane also comes below the XY line. Now mark a 20 mm distance here, put a point here, that is point marked with C. This is our plan. Now we have to mark its dimension. This height is 50 mm and this width is 20 mm. Now we have to discuss another question, that is third question. In our third question, a point D is 40 mm below HP and 20 mm behind VP. Our point is D, which is fixed 40 mm below HP and 20 mm behind VP. From this hint, we can understand our point D is situated in third quadrant. This is the pictorial view of third quadrant. Here, this plane is marked as VP and this plane is marked as HP. This is the sign of observer. Observer is always stand at the right hand side of the quadrant. But according to his position, we can say that the vertical plane is in between the point D and observer. Here, our point, what is the position of our point? Our point is fixed in third quadrant, that is 40 mm below HP and 20 mm behind VP. Now, this is our imagination part, imagination of question part. Now we have to draw its answer part. For drawing its answer part, first we have to imagine. That means by the help of this pictorial view, we have to imagine its front view and plans. The first we have to draw its front view. By keeping the 40 mm distance from HP, we have to project its image on its reference plane. That means on its vertical plane. Now, by keeping this 40 mm, put a point here and mark it with the letter D dash. What is the distance from that point from XY line? That is 40 mm. Now, we have to mark that point in a common XY line. That is, this point is D dash. D dash. That D dash is projected on VP, keeping the distance 40 mm. Now, what is the next step? Next, we have to project its plan on its reference plane. Which is the reference plane? HP is the reference plane. By keeping 20 mm distance, we have to project its plan on HP, and we have to get a point here, keeping 20 mm distance from XY line. After projecting that point, the HP rotate in clockwise direction, then that point and this plane also comes above the horizontal XY line. Now, we have put a point here, keeping the distance 20 mm and mark that point as D. This is our plan and this is our front view. Now, the third question is completed. Now, move on to last one. Now, we have to consider the fourth question. A point is 20 mm below HP and 60 mm behind VP. This is as in the case of third one. Similar to that third question. That means point E is 20 mm below HP and 60 mm behind VP. That means point E is situated in third quadrant. So we have to draw its front view on its vertical plane. That means put a point here, keeping 20 mm distance. That is, point is marked with E dash. That is front view, keeping 20 mm distance. Now we have to project its plan on HP. Then that time that point comes above the XY line. Put a point here, keeping the distance 60 mm. And mark that point is E. This is our plan and this is our front view. And all the questions have 30 mm apart distance. This is our first solved problem in projection of points. Okay.